Hi, this is Manish Kumar Jha from Business World. Uh, Something is very important today, which we're going to talk about. A vacuum which was filled by two authors, and which is about the life of our former Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar, also a politician of extraordinary life. And so the title of the book rightly says so. It is penned by two authors, uh, Mr. Sadhguru Patil and Maya Bhushan. I understand, I have been covering defense for a couple of years, and I had a very short interactions way back in the South Bloc. When Manohar Parrikar became a defense minister, it was sort of mixed reaction because nobody from an engineer, a technical background, and such a stature from one of the premier institute, RIT uh, graduate, held a post of defense minister. I also understand way back our Field Marshal Manik Shaw had said, do we have anybody in the minister capacity, especially defense minister, who understand the basic of defense? Say somebody could differentiate between what is motor and mortar. And so here comes a technocrat, a well-read, educated defense minister, which we so excited about when he was a defense minister to talk about. So my question, of course, I will begin with asking you, Mr. Sadhguru Patil,
Yeah.
was he a reluctant politician and then a defense minister?
No, no, he was not reluctant. What I will say is he was very well read, efficient, and right person for the post of defense minister. यानी गोवा में जब वो थे
जी.
तब उनका काम जिस तरह से चल रहा था, सो वो काम देखकर ही मिस्टर मोदी प्राइम मिनिस्टर has selected Mr. Parrikar as a defense minister. And I feel that during that short term of 2.5 years or 2 years, he has given justice to his work. In that way, he was a right person. He was not reluctant as such.
Mr. Mayabhushan, how do you look at Mr. Parikar as a politician and as a defense minister? I understand he's a politician in Goa. He was the chief minister. He had a wonderful, following in Goa. But I understand from your book as well, he was not willing to be a defense minister. Uh, what do you think about that? How do you
Yeah,
explain
I'll
to
just
readers
take
about
off
this?
from I'll just take off from Sadhguru's answer. Thing is, we have never seen him the reluctant side of him when he was in Goa, right? In fact, he was quite the contrary. He was an overeager politician. He was always out there. He put himself out there. Whether he was opposition leader or whether he was chief minister. I think that's one quality which puts him aside from the rest of the politicians here. But the reluctance part is true for his Delhi stint because that is something he perhaps did not want to do. He did not want to serve second in command or third in command in a setup because he was too used to being a king in his own domain. Like Sadhguru, we have heard this. Sadhguru has heard this from Parrikar himself that when he was in Goa, he was a king, but he went to Delhi Darbar. He became one of the princes. That is something which I think is the reason for him being known as a reluctant politician in the national capital.
How did you come up with the title extraordinary? I understand, Mr. Parikar had many dimensions, in his life, as a politician, also as a person, he multi-talented, he has so many things to talk about, so many anecdotes about him. You must have choice for a spoiled choice, so many choices. How do you decide on this particular title? What is behind this extraordinary life?
So look, Goa is a beautiful state. A lot of people want to come here. It's a great holiday destination. But politically, it's a very insignificant state because we lack the numbers. We have 40 MLAs, we have 2 Lok Sabha MPs, we have 1 Rajya Sabha seat. In all these years, Goa has never had a full-fledged union cabinet minister. Right? So Parrikar broke that glass ceiling. He was the first politician from Goa to be appointed as a union minister and a defense minister at that. Past stalwarts could never do it. So in a way, his political trajectory for us is an extraordinary one. And as a personality, he was not a regular cutout of a politician, of an Indian politician. He was complex, he was unusual, and of course, he was also the first IITian to become a chief minister. So in a way, there are extraordinary traits in his life, which we have, which the title I think underlines quite a bit.
My question to Mr. Patil.
Yeah.
You have written often in the books, and it's also reported many times that his equation, उनका जो relation था reporter के साथ में, especially Goa में, वो बहुत different था. I think it was also misunderstood. Factly, from my own personal experience, I had a very short interaction in South Block, and I'm also from IIT. So when I introduced myself and I said I'm from, I have also like you, sir, passed out from IIT Mumbai. And he was very pleased to know that, because he also must have felt a lot of journalists are not well educated, in his own mind, which is now well reflected in your book.
He didn't just feel that, he said it.
Yeah, he said it and invited me, which of course to his then it did not take place, unfortunately. But I want to understand, man like him, who is also a very seasoned politician, a very well educated, again I quote it, very few among politician who has such a quality degree from our premier institute called IIT, would talk about reporter and say how much your salary is, and then you talk about the intellectual indeficiency among the reporters to cover the way they should have covered. Why he was so anguished, what he felt about, was it a larger picture, or it was, and he was feeling about the way things are being reported in India by journalists, or was he? It was addressed for the few reporters in Goa who would not cover his point of view as he wanted to. Could you talk about first to Mr. Patil and then to Mr. Mayabhushan? Patil ji, bataiye.
Yes. I have covered Parrikar for 23 years, 23 long years, since he was first MLA in 1994. From 1996, I covered him. I seen his all elections, all assembly debates I witnessed personally. I interviewed him many times. So when he was in opposition, he was very, very friendly with media. There was no issue about that. And he is the only politician who was knowing how to use the power of media to focus his own points, as a leader of opposition. So उस तरीके से अगर हमने विचार किया तो ऐसा लगता है कि मीडिया के साथ उनका जो वर्तन था, बिहेवियर था, वो when he was in opposition it was absolutely fine, बहुत अच्छा था. इतना कि अगर ऐसा भी गोवा में एक इंसिडेंस आया कि he supported group of journalists to come out with a new newspaper also, and he himself some years back before becoming an MLA had promoted one magazine also. So that way he was reading every day, he was reading newspaper. उनका एक प्लस पॉइंट क्या था कि जब वो चीफ मिनिस्टर बन गए तो सुबह उठकर he used to read every newspaper, और वही प्रॉब्लम बन गया बाद में. छोटा छोटा न्यूज भी अगर उनको लगा कि दिस इज हर्टिंग हिज गवर्नमेंट, नॉट ओनली हिम, फॉरगेट अबाउट हर्टिंग हिम, उसके गवर्नमेंट को भी हर्ट करने का ऐसा अगर न्यूज आया तो ही यूज्ड टू कॉल एट 6:30 AM, 7 o'clock in the morning many times for me. अगर उनका फोन नहीं लिया, नाम देखकर फोन नहीं लिया, तो देन ही यूज्ड टू कॉल फ्रॉम अ प्राइवेट फोन. वहां तुम रिकॉर्ड भी नहीं कर सकते, ट्रेस भी नहीं कर सकते, और नाम भी आता नहीं, जस्ट प्राइवेट कॉल ऐसा आता है, या प्राइवेट नंबर. When he was opposition, he was very good in giving news also, many scoops. He was giving exclusive story. That's how we people developed friendship with him. When he became chief minister, that time, while running a coalition government, he was, by the circumstances, he was forced to do some political adjustments. In that bargain, I feel that उनको लगने लगा कि मुझे जैसा चाहिए वैसा न्यूज़पेपर में आता नहीं. So sometimes, not every time, and this can't be generalized. He used to
Okay.
get irritated. That is the point. He used to get irritated. और बात वो जनरलाइज नहीं कर सकते हम, पर बहुत बार उनको दिखने लगा बाद में कि मुझे मिसकोट करते हैं लोग ऐसा.
Mr. Mayabhushan, how do you look at
Yeah.
his personality? Is it coming as a dichotomy? Because one side, I know him, he talked a lot about diversity, and he said in democracy, the best comes out of diversity. And then you have also mentioned this point in your book somewhere. I understand. How do you look at such thing? As far as his personality is concerned, and also the second question: why he treated differently two journalists from two point of view, one in Delhi, one in Goa. Was it because Goa was his homeland and he looked at different perspective, a favorable outcome all the time he wanted from the Goa journalist? Could you talk about such a dichotomy, please, to Mayabhushan ji?
Okay, the journalistic part here. I'll
Yes.
try and address it. So this is a place. This was his Karma Bhumi. He's been around here for a long time. He knew a lot of journalists. That in and out. He knew the media in and out here. So I presume he expected a kind of control which he, as a chief minister, which he desired. The same may have not been the case in Delhi, where he was there for a brief amount of time. It was also a very sensitive ministry. So perhaps that explains the reasons why he had two sets of relationships with the media in Delhi and in Goa. But also, this education part. It's great to have a person like Mr. Parrikar, an IIT Mumbai alumnus as the chief minister and as the defense minister. But, he served in the same cabinet in the center where degrees of many union leaders are in question, or some union leaders are in question. He knew the media in Goa intimately because he was,
Right.
This was his current movie. He was here for the longest amount of time, right?
Right.
Several decades actually. And perhaps because he had built relationships, maybe he had expected that kind of a reciprocation from the media once he was chief minister. Maybe that wasn't coming from some quarters. That was the reason perhaps why he kept losing his cool every now and then. And in Delhi, he was there for a short time. So maybe he didn't have time to build those bridges with the media to some extent. Maybe that explains the two different sets of relationships. But about this education part, I was saying that he ended up being in the cabinet, or he headed the cabinet both in Goa and in Delhi. In Delhi, the educational qualifications of his cabinet colleagues are in question. Right? So I don't think this lack of education should be used as a tar brush to paint journalists or anyone for that matter. Saying because you don't have a degree, you can't make a valid point. I think that's something.
But in the sense, he was not politically correct. But somewhere you think he pointed what he felt from deeply, because Mr. Parrikar was a man of he spoke his mind, as far as I know, and he wanted to say something else, but then in between, he quoted that what you call a tough love, and the manner he
Not
quoted.
really. I think he was looking for scapegoats, easy scapegoats, and I think we are the best scapegoats in a way. The easiest scapegoats you can find.
I think one of the most interesting part, which I came across out of your book, which you talk about Parrikarism. It's really very interesting. A couple of things which I had no idea about. I had a sense of understanding, which we very rightly put it across. And also felt some of the meetings, some of the addresses he was conducting in Delhi. Usually drift away, as you also pointed out. He drift away from the topic, and he go as far as into another dimensions, which your books also talk about. I would quote one of the session. He said, "We have to use terrorists to neutralize terrorists." I mean, it sounds very different from a defense minister of India. What is all about his personality as far as Manohar Parrikarism is concerned? Is it part of his world that he would be open as an audience? He was not conscious about that we have a audience across, and I need to careful about my words. And he was just by himself, also being a defense minister.
Yeah,
what is all about? It's a difficult to gauge.
Sadhguru, I'll just take this for two.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sadhguru, I'll just take this for 2 minutes. So basically, it was his nature. He was off the cuff. He was off the cuff all the time. And in a way, while this appeared detrimental to him as far as media coverage was concerned, this style of speech is also made him immensely popular amongst people in Goa. Sadhguru has a word for it. Sadhguru, why don't you explain this Thackeray and
Yes.
Parrikar comparison?
No, Parrikar, it was his nature, और उनकी जो भाषा थी वो नेचुरल
जी.
थी. उनके मन में जो आता था वो बोल देते थे. He was frank about that. बाद में the repercussions और जो इफेक्ट होते थे, उसके बाद वो कहते थे नहीं ऐसा बोलना नहीं चाहिए था. That was my personal view. That was not a view of chief minister. That was not a view of defense minister. ये उनका हमेशा रहता कि वो मेरा पर्सनल था और आप लोगों ने छप दिया एज ए इट्स ए पॉलिसी डिसीजन ऑफ डिफेंस मिनिस्टर, एज ए इटसेल्फ इट इज अ पॉलिसी डिसीजन ऑफ चीफ मिनिस्टर. ऐसा आपने पिक्चर खड़ा कर दिया. ऐसा बहुत बार हुआ है, गोवा में भी हुआ है और दिल्ली में हुआ है. लेकिन एंड ऑफ द डे मैं एक बात जरूर कहूंगा कि उनके जो स्वभाव गुण था, उनका जो नेचर था, वो बहुत उस खिलाफ से ट्रांसपेरेंट था. यानी उनके मन में जो आता था, ही यूज्ड टू स्पीक. सामने कौन है, कितनी भीड़ है, क्राउड क्या है, कल क्या रिपोर्टिंग हो सकता है, उसका वो विचार नहीं करते थे. इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ कि इवन आई यूज्ड टू से दैट यूज्ड टू कंपेयर हिम विद बाला साहेब ठाकरे. एंड he was किसी को he used to call a spade. यानी उनकी जो ठाकरे जैसा, यानी कांग्रेस के अगर किसी लीडर पर अगर आरोप करना है, एलिगेशन करना है, तो he used to take names just like ठाकरे. Then he was also sensationalizing the things to some extent. तो इसीलिए उनके बारे में जो कुछ मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग हो गई लोगों में या जर्नलिस्ट में, ये इसका भी एक कारण है कि उनके मन में जो आता था वो बोल देते थे. तो टेररिस्ट शुड बी यूज्ड टू न्यूट्रलाइज टेररिस्ट, वो जो बात उन्होंने कही है वैसे बहुत बात उन्होंने गोवा में भी कहा है. और वो उन्होंने जब पॉलिटिकल करियर शुरू किया तब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक चैनल और सोशल मीडिया उतना एक्टिव नहीं था, इसलिए वो चलता था. लेकिन व्हेन द इरा ऑफ सोशल मीडिया केम एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक चैनल की संख्या बढ़ गई, दैट टाइम ही वाज फीलिंग द पिंच. यानी तब वो जब बात करने लगे तो उनका हेडलाइन होने लगा और बाद में ही वुड फेल्ट द आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स.
तो बाद में वो कॉन्शियस फील करते थे जब उन्होंने ऐसा स्टेटमेंट दिया कि एक टेररिस्ट को
नहीं, you used to issue clarifications next day, no? मुझे ऐसा नहीं कहना था.
Or say he was misquoted.
But
yeah, please. You wanted to make some point. बताइए.
लेकिन considering his plus points and positive points of his whole nature and whole personality, and considering his contributions for the state and for the nation, we used to ignore those things, those shortcomings. यानी हर बार उसका कोई इश्यू होता ऐसा नहीं था. इतना ही.
This is very important to know. I think Manohar Parrikar, he came out from a Goa, which you often referred a very small state within the ecosystem of a large Indian states, and he came as a defense minister. But the mark he left in our foreign defense policy is overarching. It is definitely a new direction he set in terms of surgical strike. In his tenure as a defense minister, we changed our posture as a nation, that we said we will retaliate if somebody attack on our soldiers, as somebody crosses. Of course, they hinted through Pakistan. How did he? Was he the man behind the surgical strike? Did he propose that to the Prime Minister? How much his whole contribution in terms of this proposition that we should attack, we should go cross and take revenge on behalf of our soldiers who were martyred?
Bhushan.
Patil ji, आपको पहले.
नहीं, Bhushan.
Sadhguru?
You start. Yeah. Bhushan, you start.
See, we've had this question asked to us before, so we have slightly different positions on this. In the current dispensation, it really doesn't appear that a number two in the Prime Minister Modi cabinet would have the leeway to take decisions like this. But clearly, he is the one who was in the chair when these key decisions were taken. And I think for him to have been in that position when two major surgical strikes were carried on across both Indian borders, I think that's a commendable thing for him to be there. But in terms of taking a decision for this to happen, decision of hot pursuit, the decision of carrying out the surgical strikes, I think it's a question which it's an answer, it's a go ahead which would have come from an office higher than him.
Mr. Patil,
I too agree with this. प्लानिंग प्रोसेस में पर्रिकर का कंट्रीब्यूशन था, यानी पर्रिकर जो बात कहते थे हमें भी उससे मालूम होता था, और उनके जो ओएसडी थे उन्होंने जो बात कही है उससे भी मालूम होता था कि he had contributed in the planning process of surgical strike. He was monitoring the things. और जो जिस दिन स्ट्राइक हो गया उस दिन भी he monitored the whole thing. यानी उनको सब कुछ मालूम था, उनके पास सब इंफॉर्मेशन आता था. The military and other people were personnel were reporting to him. Of course, second thing is the green signal जरूर उनके higher up से आया होगा, नहीं तो वो नहीं कर सकते थे. So that much we have to agree. Yeah.
Knowing Manohar Parrikar as a person, as a politician from Goa, the way he was forthcoming towards the things, he was thrown into something which I have been covering, a ministry which is known for a lot of tardy delays, process. Also, the corruption, I would say, was prevalent. When he was there. How did he feel about that? Did he feel he was thrown into something, a big ocean to fight across, and make such a big change in the Ministry of Defense as a defense minister? Because it was widely speculated, a man with such integrity, with such knowledge, who understands technology, who has a degree to do things, especially understand the technological part of defense, will make a great deal of change. Did he feel the burden as a defense minister while navigating through such a vast ecosystem of our MOD? पाटिल जी इसके बारे में क्या बोलेंगे?
उनका एक प्लस पॉइंट था कि he used to read every file. That was his plus point. यानी it was his nature. He used to read every file. और उनकी जो grasping power थी, he used to understand. So उनका जो background है, technical background, और उनकी पढ़ने की जो एक ये है, so उसको उनको पता चलता था कि टॉपिक क्या आया है उनके सामने. No officer can fool him. That was his है. So I think कि उनको बर्डन कभी नहीं हुआ, ऐसा मुझे तो लगता है. But उनके he got only a role of to do administrative work. He was more interested in political work. उनको लोगों में रहना पसंद था, पॉलिटिकल राजकीय काम करना उनको पसंद था. और इधर एज ए डिफेंस मिनिस्टर उनके लिए सिर्फ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क आया. तो मुझे उनका बर्डन है, उनको ऐसा कभी नहीं दिखा. लेकिन उनको थोड़ा अगर और एक पोर्टफोलियो उनके पास होता, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मोर देन डिफेंस ही वुड हैव गिवन जस्टिस टू फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट, बिकॉज फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट की जो उनके पास स्किल थी, खूबी थी, वो बहुत ही अच्छी थी. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अपार्ट फ्रॉम डिफेंस और फाइनेंस ऐसे दोनों भी अगर दिए होते तो उनका इंटरेस्ट और बढ़ जाता था. क्योंकि एक बार उन्होंने ही कहा था, वही मैं अभी फिर एक बार कोट करता हूँ, कि गोवा में जब वो थे तब वो किंग थे, और मोदी के कैबिनेट में गए तो वो युवराज प्रिंस बन गए. यानी कि उनके दिमाग में वो था. और सेकेंडली जब वो दिल्ली में गए, he was selected basically due to his efficiency and integrity. So दिल्ली में जब वो गए तब उन्होंने फ्रेंड सर्कल ज्यादा नहीं रखा, because many times he used to say that कौन दोस्त है, कौन जेन्युइन है और कौन आर्म्स डीलर है, ये पता ही नहीं चलता दिल्ली में. सो दिल्ली में जो दरबारी स्टाइल थी, दिल्ली का जो पॉलिटिकल स्टाइल है और दिल्ली का जो कल्चर है, वो शुरुआती में he was not adjusted to that culture. लेकिन उन्होंने एक काम अच्छा किया कि ज्यादा फ्रेंड्स नहीं रखे, और he avoided that kind of controversies. तो इसलिए उनके ऊपर वैसा सीरियस एलिगेशन नहीं आया, किसी स्कैम का एलिगेशन नहीं आया. इन अ वे ही टुक द प्रिकॉशन.
Maya Bhushan ji are coming. I'm taking a clue from Mr. Sadhguru, and he said very clearly, and in fact, people perceived him as a man of integrity, a man of relative honesty among the politicians which we have now. Uh, could you tell our readers, like, how did he see the corruption within the system, especially amongst the politicians in India? Could you tell our readers out of your book and some of the rare insights, which you have mentioned? Could you give us some insight?
Okay, I'll give you an example which is in sync with his personality of contradiction. Okay, so during one of his stints when he was chief minister, a furniture store in the neighborhood where he stayed, offered his brother 20 chairs, 20 plastic chairs, as a token of appreciation. You've become a chief minister, take these 20 chairs. When the chairs arrived, the brother told his elder brother Abdul, told him, so and so guy dropped by, he gave us 20 chairs, and he said, this is as a token of appreciation. You're a neighbor, and you've landed up in the highest chair in the land. So the two brothers fought for 2 days over the 20 chairs. Parrikar refused to take the chairs because it would have been an obligation of sort. And the brother insisted, he doesn't want anything from you. He's just offering you because you're a neighbor, and why don't you just accept them or give it to somebody? So this is one example of Parrikar's, in a way, obstinate behavior to maintain that image which you just talked about. But we've tried to contradict this particular instance with one of the biggest scams in Goa. It's the mining scam, which a judicial commission valued at around 35,000 crore. There's absolutely little action from repeated successive Parrikar-led governments to nail the perpetrators to book. In fact, the mining companies with the judicial commission had named for committing irregularities and illegalities in mining, Parrikar's administration and a BJP administration after that gave them the same renewed the same mining leases in their favor. So his career graph in terms of fighting corrupt politicians ended after his first 2 terms in power. After that, there was hardly any significant action against corruption or corrupt ministers that we have witnessed. His first 2 terms in power, 2000 to 2002, 2000 to 2004, he really went after corrupt ministers from the opposition. But we see later that a minister who he had jailed for corruption later joined his cabinet in 2017. So contradictions galore.
My
So there's no clear path if you're asking.
Because
anti-corruption agenda.
Because he felt that he would not be able to break the chain of the corruption in our country, in our system, and he better somehow, if he not be corrupt, then he would not be able to break the chain and bring about
maybe
revolution.
He sensed the futility of it. Maybe he sensed the futility of it all. Maybe.
You often quoted he always felt lonely in Delhi. Why was so? I mean, he was defense minister. His coterie of friends were here as well. Why would he feel so lonely time to time, and he would want to talk to somebody, at night during even the surgical strike, which you have mentioned? Why would he feel so? Why he was so lonely?
Sadhguru, should I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was his nature. I mean, he liked being around people. His strength. Like you would rarely see a chief minister go down to a tapri and have chai or an omelette bread or something. But he used to do that. He couldn't do that in Delhi. I mean, the nature of his job, the nature of his positions, that's something he really did not do. And secondly, again, he was not the man who was calling the shots. So I think there was emotional turmoil in his mind. He was not used to playing second fiddle. I think that weighed a lot on his mind. Of course, his family was here, his grandson was here. I think all those factors played in his mind. But the key factor was that he was not the top dog in that way. That affected him. That explains his reluctance. That explains his loneliness.
Sadhguruji, could you like to talk about some of anecdotes unke life mein which he shared with you for our readers? Something even which you have not mentioned in a book.
नहीं बुक में भी आया है और क्या है कि उनके लाइफ में जो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बहुत इंसिडेंट्स है. एक बार जब वो चीफ मिनिस्टर थे तब उनका दुकान था माप्सा में, उसकी बर्थ प्लेस है माप्सा, पर्रा बर्थ प्लेस पर माप्सा में उनका दुकान है. So when he was a chief minister, he visited his store and there was no police or bodyguard. There was a Diwali time and a Lakshmi Pujan was going on. तो दो ही थे उनके, एक भाई था और वो थे. तो उनका भाई पूजा करने लगा. His brother was performing puja. One customer came. और ये जब पहली बार चीफ मिनिस्टर बन गए पर्रिकर तब की बात है, तो कस्टमर को मालूम नहीं था कि ये चीफ मिनिस्टर है. So customer asked for 1 kilogram of this sugar. So Parrikar quietly packed the sugar. He weighed it, or he quietly packed the sugar and he gave it to the customer. So उनके भाई जब आ गए और वो उन्होंने देखा तो he got surprised, उसका भाई. और he told, अरे मनोहर, what are you doing? You are chief minister now and you are entertaining customer. तो तब पर्रिकर बोले कि हमारा जो सब कुछ स्कूलिंग हो गया और हम इतने बड़े हो गए, so our livelihood was depend on this small store. So अभी भी अगर मुझे मैं चीफ मिनिस्टर हूँ और कोई कस्टमर आता है तो एक काम करने को मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं दिखती, मुझे कुछ ये नहीं दिखता. तो इनका ये नेचुरल उनका था, ये जो उनका स्वभाव गुण था, नेचर था, ये उनका नेचुरल. दिस वाज नॉट ए ड्रामा, ही वाज नॉट प्रिटेंडिंग. ऐसे बहुत बार ऐसा हो गया है कि बचपन से ही he was fearless. That is also one thing. His brother Avadhut told me when he was just 8-year-old, he was उनको स्विमिंग नहीं आता था. So one day all friends went to one lake in Nageshi. So एक बच्चा आ गया उधर और उसको बोल गया कि तुमको स्विमिंग आता है तो तुम इसमें कूद जाकर दिखाओ. इसको स्विमिंग नहीं आता फिर भी ये कूद गया. और when ये प्रॉब्लम हो गया तब उधर टीचर थे, एक मास्टर जी थे, वो दौड़ कर आ गए और लोग आ गए और उनको निकाल दिया. ऐसे बहुत इंसिडेंट्स है कि उनका जो ही वाज नॉट उनका जो ये स्वभाव गुण था वो पॉलिटिक्स में भी आ गया. ही वाज फियरलेस. और उनका अक्रॉस लाइफ अगर आपने देखा, उनका पूरा जीवन ही एक मैटर ऑफ बिग स्टडी. उनका पॉलिटिकल मैनेजमेंट, उनका एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्किल, इसका एक व्यापक तरह से मुझे लगता है कि उस पर ज्यादा रिसर्च होना चाहिए, ज्यादा अभ्यास स्टडी होने चाहिए. और ऐसे बहुत इंसिडेंसेस है. वी हैव नॉट कवर्ड एवरीथिंग इन दिस बुक ऑफ 220 पेजेस, बट देयर आर मेनी. आफ्टर रीडिंग द बुक नाउ आल्सो पीपल टेलिंग, अरे मुझे ये भी मालूम था उनका, मुझे वो भी मालूम था. पहले पीपल वर नॉट वोकल. Now, after reading the books and after discussing on the book, people, his IIT friends, his colleagues, his relatives, they are now giving more and more interesting information. Yeah.
No, I think book rightly points out and fills that vacuum and the gap about our versatile politician who was also a defense minister, a technocrat, known for speaking his mind. I think it's a balanced approach. Book talks about very interesting aspect of our leader. Readers will get to know a lot about this. I recommend this book to all the readers. An Extraordinary Life, a biography of Manohar Parrikar by Sadhguru Patil. I'm Maya Gulshan. I thank you both of you coming on the platform of Business World. Thank you very much speaking with me, Manish Kumar Jha. Thank you.